Hey there, my name is Andrew Osenga. I'm a songwriter, musician, author, and for many years I hosted a podcast called The Pivot, where I talked to people about that moment where things stopped working the way they used to, whether that was in their career or their family or their beliefs. It happens to everybody. We hold on to these things that we feel we're never going to change, and then one day they just do. And we have to figure out, what do we do now? I started this podcast because I needed it. Things in my life started to fall apart, and I was really, really lucky to have a great group of friends who surrounded me. They showed up and started taking me out to lunch, joining me for a walk, and sharing their stories with me of when they'd gone through similar things, when they'd lost a job, when their family had gone through hard times, when they'd wrestled with their faith, and it was so encouraging and so helpful. I thought, man, maybe other people need to hear these stories too, and so I started driving around town and asking my friends if they would share their stories again in front of some microphones, and it turned out a lot of people did want to hear these stories, and it was really fun. I loved doing it. And then a few years later, as things changed, I felt like I had some other stories to tell in other ways, so I took some time off from the podcast to make some more music and write a book. In fact, the process of writing my new book, How to Remember, had me ask a lot of questions about who I am and why I think the way I think and why I'm doing the things I'm doing. And eventually I realized I want to start this podcast again. I've been getting more and more curious about not just what we're doing in our careers and our families, but the way we think. Everywhere we look in the world right now, it seems like all of a sudden people are just doubling down and taking sides. And if someone disagrees, the other person is evil. And I just don't think that's true. And I think deep down we know that, and we don't want to live this way. I believe there are things that don't change about truth and God and who we are. But I think on top of those things, we are constantly growing and evolving. And that's not weakness, that's maturity. I'm glad I don't think exactly the same way I did 20 years ago. That would be terrible for everyone, for my family, for my friends, for me. I want us to keep growing. And I want to grow by learning from amazing people. And the world is full of amazing people. I want to talk to them. So that's what we're going to do. The Pivot is going to be back on October 14th, and this time on video. We're going to talk to musicians and authors and nonprofit leaders, yes. We're also going to talk to scientists and academics and all kinds of other interesting, amazing people. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to grow because we're human, and that's what humans do. I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope you are too. I can't wait to see you there, October 14th, for the relaunch of The Pivot, stories of people who made a change.